England have won the T20 World Cup against Pakistan. We were sort of just leading up into it last pod, and there was rain about, and we thought, are we going to get a rain unaffected game? Yeah, well, the weather stayed okay for the game.
It drizzled a fair bit throughout the game, but not enough that anyone cared about. So.
Exactly. Pakistan made a measly 8 for 137. Baba 32. Rizwan didn't make much. Shan Masood 38. Sam Curran, I believe he got player of the tournament. 3 for 12 off 4. Pretty special the way he goes about his white ball business. He's not overly quick. Doesn't generate much bounce. He's not that tall for the so-called fast bowler, but just his change-ups, his variation, his line and length is very, very good. Set England up for an excellent start. Any thoughts from the Pakistan innings?
Unders. We talked all tournament that 160 was par score, and in the final against England, where they bat so deep, you'd want more than that. So to be under that, it was always going to make it a tough task. And then England, I think, batted slowly and more methodically throughout their innings, but Pakistan losing their captain, their fast bowler, and that really hurt them with a knee injury that looked like to me, it looked like a non-contact ACL.
Dr. Shaw.
Yeah. And then he tried.
He would have had scans. I could probably chase that up.
Yeah. Well, they said he's going to be out significant time, so probably something bad in the knee. But he did try coming back out and bowling after that, try to lift the team, but he ran down the pitch once and was like, yeah, I'm done. And at that point, I felt like Pakistan were done as well.
Has been cleared of serious knee injury.
Very good.
That's good, yeah.
Because he'd actually done his ACL, I believe.
Had he really?
Yeah.
Big Shaheen Shah Afridi we're talking about, of course.
Yeah, that's it. Again, similar to India playing England, they just weren't really able to capitalise on the power play. Weren't really able to get those quick runs early. And we're sort of on the back foot.
What's that bottom there? What's a forced knee
flexion? So your knee move.
Is it kneecap?
No, so flexion and extension are the two movements of the knee. Flexion is making the angle smaller, so bending of the knee, and extension is going the other way.
So when he dug it into the ground and it was closed up,
there's a lot of things that can go anatomically wrong there. Yeah. From someone that semi-knows what they're talking about.
Well, I hope so.
Anyways, the good news is for the big fella that he's avoided serious knee damage. You are right, though. A lot of the ACLs are non-contact.
Yeah, and when his knee dug into the turf as well at that point, and he rolled over, and you're just like, yeah, that didn't look good. No, not at all. He tried to play out through it and couldn't do it because he really, when they came back out, you could see Pakistan, he ran back on the pitch. You could see them all lift.
He's their spearhead.
Exactly. And then when he went off,
he's their best weapon with the ball. He bowls. What did we say?
Wheels.
Yeah, wheels. We said that the Pakistan quicks bowl more balls over 140 than anyone in that tournament.
Yeah, and they were swinging it like crazy. They were giving England real fits with that. But once he left, Ben Stokes was at the crease and they really needed that wicket of his to make a difference, and they couldn't do it, and England cruised to an easy victory in this. And I thought post-tournament that we, as the Australian fans, we were probably robbed of that Australian-England game, what potentially they could have changed both our tournaments, but the way England played, they were probably going to put us to the sword anyway.
Yeah, I suppose you could say we were robbed, but on your day, anyone
robbed of the contest is what I mean.
Robbed of the contest, yeah, robbed of the contest. We're just talking about weather, so you can't control it. But it does go to show the, it's 2020 cricket. If there's a little bit of rain about, every single over, every single ball counts. So if you start off your tournament by getting your pants pulled down by New Zealand like we did, it was always going to be very difficult.
Yeah, or if you bat slow through the power play period, then it really hurts you if the other team bats quick and then the rain comes. So,
so England are champions in both white ball formats. Hate to see it as Aussies, that's for sure. Marks, do we have any stats? Did you get a tab open on that, or should we? Would you do a bit of waffle? You can do a bit of waffling if you need.
Do a bit of waffle if you want.
So Sam Curran, we spoke about him getting man of the tournament. I think top of the head, he might have had 13 poles at fuck all. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind bringing up,
Didn't Vera win something?
he might have got the most runs.
Virat got the most runs.
There you go.
You lied to me then. You didn't have a tab at all.
I had tab with the match.
So Virat was the top run scorer, and again, when we go through this list, there's the big caveat of a few of the Sri Lankan and Netherlands players.
Yeah, the Super 12 versus everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Would have scored more runs. Do you want me to find it? I think I had it.
I had it up a second ago. I'm all over the
that's
shop.
why I
So.
thought. Yeah, I know. You okay, man?
These two struggling to get it up.
I don't know. Always.
Take long, did it? It's like it's always on your mind or something. I don't know.
Well, you just make it too easy.
Too easy. It's too easy.
easy,
Yeah,
It's too easy.
All right.
What were we talking about? Players that did well in this tournament.
Yeah. So Vera was the best batsman.
There we go. 296 runs at 98.66, if you don't mind. He only got dismissed 3 times.
Return to form. Did you hear the what's the Indian Cricket Commission?
BCCI? Yep.
They sacked all the selectors.
Really?
All of them.
Yeah. So they're redoing the Indian selection squad. So obviously not happy with the fact they didn't win this tournament.
Who missed out that should have been in there?
Yeah, well, I don't think they're selecting much of a different team, honestly.
I don't know. On paper, they look fire. Like it's T20 cricket. It's hit and giggle.
I don't know whether it's... Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Whether it's just a
Because
change
we didn't
in the
win,
game.
it doesn't matter. When we won last year, it mattered. It's real cricket then. And no one expected to do it. To do it.
I think
in the Emirates.
It'll probably end up being more politics than it is actual
Of
cricket
course.
form, so.
Politics in cricket, you wouldn't read about it. You would not read about it.
No, don't talk to the South African.
What was the bowling? How'd we go there?
We'll just go through this list a little bit quickly. So obviously Virat returning to form, top run scorer by a healthy margin, 54 runs ahead of O'Dowd from the Netherlands. They were calling him the Dutch Pekovsky. He's got that sort of long locks and looks all right, bats all right. And then Surya Kumar Yadav actually coming in third with 239 runs at a tick under 60, striking at 190, if you don't mind. You remember pre-tournament, well, like Sky hasn't really played any white ball cricket down here. How's he going to go? Pretty good by the looks. And then Josh Butler, interesting how he didn't really do much early on in the tournament. He's ended up 4th. With 225 runs at 45 and striking at 145. We said he'd been a little bit unders. That's probably testament to how good this bloke's been if he finished the tournament in 4th in the runs.
Well, he got that 80.
It was all off the back of that 80, really.
In a game where they just, kind of really showed where they're coming in that semi-final game against New Zealand. So, yeah.
Kusal Mendes rounding out the top 5, but again, caveat, played a couple more games. Can you sort up there by strike rate? It might actually... Can you click on it or not?
No, but I can see the 189 there.
Yeah, I think Surya Kumar Yadav, it sticks out, doesn't it? No one really... Who's that 169 down there? Riley Rosso.
Cock had this 160.
Yeah.
Stein had a 160, but
yeah.
Didn't back it up with
so Sky leaps and bounds ahead of anyone in terms of strike rate, and Virat leaps and bounds ahead of anyone in terms of total runs. So it definitely wasn't their batting that let them down.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Any Indian fans that are watching this when we clip it up, let us know. Did the selectors get it wrong as Aussies? That obviously, pretty keen on our team and the selections, but maybe less in the know with the intricacies of Indian cricket selection. Let us know. On paper, we said at the start of the tournament, England and India looked like the strongest on paper. So did the selectors deserve to get what came to them? Have you got a story?
A little story here. Yeah. So Chief Sharma is, he's the chief of the selection board. So he and along all the selectors were sacked as of Friday. In their tenure, they've only been, some of them were appointed last year and some of them the year before. So the shortest tenure for a selection group so far, they usually get a 4-year term, subject to extension. But in that,
like being president,
yeah, exactly. In that time frame, India, of course, failed to reach the knockout stage in the 2021 edition of the World Cup, and then lost the World Test Championship as well.
Okay,
and then also failed in this World Cup too. So I guess Three attempts.
Three failures.
Considering the talent, we've been talking about how India, I guess from our perspective, we're talking about India coming leaps and bounds with the talent, the depth.
The depth. Yeah.
That they could be one of the most dominant nations in cricket,
Well,
and
they will. That's gonna.
Well, that's I guess the problem. They will. That they aren't. So that's maybe why they've made that decision. It's like at this point, Virat's not getting any younger, and Ashwin's not getting any younger. Like,
wasn't his fault. Well,
no, not at all. But I think they probably want to see results now with some of the veterans with the depth, and they're not getting it.
I just don't see who else should have been in this side with Bumrah being unavailable through injury and Jadu being unavailable through injury. On paper, I thought that was essentially the best team that they could pick. But so let us know in the comments if you think differently.
Can you find the next? This is James. Can you find the next Indian international game that they will play?
They're playing New Zealand tonight.
Yeah. So they were
in a T20.
So I don't think they would have changed it for that. What's the?
Well, it's also it's a one way. White ball series. They probably don't give too much of a fuck.
And their first game was cancelled anyway.
Rained out.
Weather. I'm just thinking, what's the next thing they got coming up? Just to set like a time frame of.
Well, when do they play Test cricket next? Might be.
Yeah, maybe that's when does the Indian Test team play? Because it'd be interesting to see who the selectors are and then what changes they make to the team. Is what I'm getting at.
Because
I'd say that probably align with whenever that next Test series.
Well, over our summer, they're not playing us. They're not playing New Zealand. So
are they going back to England? That doesn't make sense.
They
played England,
South Africa. They've just played South Africa.
They're doing both of those.
They might not be playing Test cricket till like March or something. Surely they're playing over summer.
They're playing against Bangladesh through December.
So they won't change for that. I don't think
they're playing 5 against. That's one cricket too.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll leave it up to you.
Right. I'm still struggling to try and get this computer working. That's all we've got at the moment. Just that Test against Bangladesh.
This year. Nothing next year?
Closing out this year.
Well, that's probably it. They'll stick with what they've got, and then maybe some changes in the new year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.